So let's welcome Fernando Trocca, famous Argentine chef, and Gabriel Bloise, head winemaker for Chakana. Today, the talented Gabriel and the famous Fernando pair together to share some secrets about cooking the perfect steak and why Malbec is the perfect match. Fernando will also reveal his recipe for chimichurri. So with all our tongue salivating here, we look forward to this. Fernando is one of Argentina's most recognized chefs, both locally and abroad, and has been responsible for spurring the popularity of Argentine cuisine in the UK as the executive chef at Gaucho. Gabriel has been the head winemaker at Chakana for over 10 years and has been responsible for its transition to organic and biodynamic wines farming. So we welcome both of you, and over to you, Gabriel. I guess you're going to start, and please do talk a little bit about yourself. We are all very keen to hear about both of you. So over to you, Gabriel.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you everybody to attend today. For me, it's a big pleasure to be here and especially to learn from Fernando. Unfortunately, I still haven't met him in person, and I confess I would love to be next to him so I can taste that nice steak he will prepare. I would like to say quick words about Chakana. As you might know, Chakana is located in Agrelo. We own different vineyards within Luján de Cuyo and Uco Valley. Most important for me is that we are very much dedicated to organic and biodynamic practices. I don't like too much speaking about myself. I think you already made the introduction. So I would like to say for us, the approach to nature is the most important. I have a lot of things to say, but I will only start saying that we are dedicated to the study of nature and understanding nature. That is organic and biodynamic for us. And also, we respect a lot simple practices. And I think if we have to talk about the pairing of Malbec and meat, I will confess I don't have much to say. I can say that Argentina is a place where we make a lot of Malbec. It's a great variety that adapted very well, and is I mean, most of the wine we make is Malbec. And also we have beautiful meat and places for growing cattle. So I think it's a natural thing, the pairing. Of course, it goes very well, but I think the only secret is that it's both things that we produce a lot and we enjoy a lot. And the pairing, I think, is about that. I will let Fernando to say his opinion and introduce himself. Thank you.
Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Fernando Trocca. I'm a chef from Argentina, and I will show you this morning here how to cook the perfect steak. So do you want to, can I start?
Yes,
yeah,
please.
start.
Yes, okay. So I will start to show you the way that we do the fire, our fire. So I was doing the fire, like I start the fire like an hour and a half ago. So, and I use a typical wood from Argentina called quebracho. We use different kind of woods here in Argentina. Also, we use charcoal, but in this case, I will use this wood. So, takes a lot of time to do a very good fire. So I've started the fire, like I say, an hour and a half ago. So I have my grill, a very simple grill. And basically I will start to warming up the grill. So I will just move the coals like this. And then I will put all the coals, hot coals underneath. The difference between the way that we grill and the way that Americans, let's say, grill, is that they use like flame, and we hate flames. So we don't need any flames. So basically we need a very hot grill, but no flames. So let's organize and move the coals underneath of the grill. So I'm checking the temperature. We need a very high temperature to start. Then I will show you the meat. In this case, I will use a T-bone steak. So this is a grass-fed beef from Argentina. And the T-bone, it's one side of the T-bone is the sirloin. This side is the sirloin. And this side, this little piece, it's the filet mignon. So I took away the meat from the fridge like 2 hours in advance. It's very important to have the meat at room temperature. So don't start the grilling from the fridge to the grill. So let's take it out, the meat from the fridge, put it outside, and for like an hour or two. And then, so I will put some salt and pepper. I will use sea salt. In both sides. Some pepper. Also, both sides. Okay, so let's put the meat on the grill. Remember, always we check the grill. Normally in Argentina, we have two kinds of bars. We use like bars in V and also like round bars like these ones. I prefer these ones because in these ones, all the fat from the meat goes to the coals and makes some smoke. And I like that because gives some flavor to the meat. So let's put the meat here. Can you hear?
Lovely.
So now we're gonna wait until the blood from behind start to going up. So when I see some blood on the top, I will turn around the steak.
Okay, while we're waiting for that, Gabriel, do you want to say a few words about the wines that you've got, or start with one of them?
Okay. I have to say it looks lovely, and I like the fact that as you see, Fernando is using very few ingredients, but details are important, like the kind of grill, the kind of wood you burn, and the kind of steak you use. I think in winemaking is the same, and I like to mention that because I think organic and biodynamic practices has to do with that, to have the perfect raw material, and then in a very simple way to produce a wine which is unique, but in a very simple way. So I have two wines here. I have the Nuna Malbec, which comes from Luján de Cuyo, Agrelo, which is our bigger estate, our bigger finca. It is full organic and biodynamic certified since 2012. We started the change. As it was mentioned, I was kind of leading the change, and it was very nice because we discovered that Nators really works very well. This is 100% Malbec, which is a selection of different parcels. And as I said, the Nuna and the other wine I will mention later. The winemaking approach is very simple. It's only spontaneous fermentation. We use very little sulfites, and we use no other thing than grapes. So for us, the most important thing, or the most important ingredient, is the grapes. Of course, these grapes are produced by an ecosystem working together, and that what organic is all about. You have to create an ecosystem that works and balances itself. So you don't need inputs from outside. That's very important for the organic and biodynamic approach. Then the soils are deep, like template weather, and I would say a bit of fertility. So the wine, it's fruit forward and round. It doesn't have a big structure, so it doesn't need a big aging. In this case, this wine doesn't age in wood, in oak. It only stays in concrete vats for about 10 months until we start bottling it. So you see, it's just like Fernando's T-bone. It's very simple, few ingredients, and showing the true taste of land. I don't know if Fernando wants to say something. I will taste it anyway.
I just moved the steak. It's going well. I will wait just a few moments.
Looks
Shall
great,
we have-
Fernando. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say, shall we, while the steak's cooking, shall we take a look at the chimichurri, Fernando, and talk to us about that?
Yes, I will not show you the chimichurri, but I will tell you how to do it, the chimichurri, because I thought that was, so basically, chimichurri is the most typical sauce in Argentina to combine the steaks or the barbecue. So we have two very typical sauce. One is chimichurri, and the other one it's salsa criolla. It's a criolla sauce. So the chimichurri, basically, it's mix of chopped parsley, garlic, chili flakes, dried chili flakes, olive oil, and red wine vinegar. It's very, very simple. And we have very different recipes. Some people use dry ingredients. They use dry garlic, dry parsley. I prefer to use fresh ingredients. So I use a fresh chopped parsley, fresh garlic, olive oil, ají molido, that it's, ají molido is a dry red chili, and vinegar. So the difference, it's if you use dry ingredients, like I said before, you can keep the chimichurri longer, let's say a week in a fridge. But if you use fresh ingredients, life shelf will be only like 2 days. So, but I prefer the first one. So it's a very simple recipe, but it's very good for steaks. So I want to show you, I don't know if you can see the blood here. I don't know if you can see the blood. Okay, so that's the moment that I will just, looks beautiful.
Mm.
Let's put some more coal. Again, I will just shake a little bit. So now we're gonna wait like a few minutes, and it's gonna be done. So it depends of how you like, but I will do it medium rare.
Gabriel, while Fernando is waiting in the oven, there's a question here by Neil about Neil. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question, perhaps?
Here I am. Yeah, I had to give up red meat and fowl for health reasons, despite the fact that I love both. And now I only eat fish and vegetables and grains and so on. I'm interested in pairings of Malbec with seafood, with grains and so on.
Okay. I have to say I'm not an expert on pairings. And as you can see, I can't find many seafood around.
Yeah.
So I would say in my experience, a wine for seafood should be a light wine, like, for example, like the one we just described, because seafood is also subtle. I mean, it has a big flavor, and generally to combine with a Malbec should be a very fresh Malbec and very thin, I would say. So we could, as you know, there are many different type of Malbec and many different regions. I think those that would work best will be maybe a rosé made from Malbec, or maybe a very light Malbec that doesn't have big texture, because texture will work better with fat, and seafood is not so fatty. So that's my view. I don't know if Fernando can help me with that.
I'm the wrong person, because to be honest, I don't like the pairing. I mean, I believe in the pairing, but I'm not used to. I mean, I always choose whatever I want to drink, and I always choose whatever I want to eat. And for me, always it's a good pairing.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
Well,
If you drink whatever you want, sorry.
I was just wondering, I live in the Pacific Northwest in the United States. We have salmon, we have tuna, which are full-bodied fish. And I routinely drink Pinot Noir with salmon, and I've even tried other Syrah and so on. So I was just wondering if either of you have experience with pairing Malbec with the heartier seafood.
Okay, I think, as I said, I think the lighter Malbec will work good with those, especially. Then the full body will go better with meat. But free pairings, as Fernando recommends, I think is good. Choosing whatever you want to drink, and then try to make the food to match that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, sorry to interrupt. I take it off the meat, and I will just rest the meat for a few minutes. But I always say that if you drink whatever you want to drink, and if you eat whatever you want to eat, and if you are with people that you enjoy, I mean, always is a good pairing. But I don't know, that's my philosophy. But obviously, I know that if you have a foie gras with a sauterne, it's the best combination. But I think that the Pinot Noir with the tuna and salmon, it is a great pairing for sure.
Christos, I hope Gabriel has answered your question. You do have similar question on tuna and Malbec pairing. Amanda has written to try Altamira Malbec, try the Amy.
Oh no, I was just saying that I love the Altamira Malbec because it's quite kind of floral and fresh with slightly kind of herbaceous notes too. And I love that with a grilled salmon, Neil, and especially with a fresh chimichurri. And if you make it more on the kind of cilantro, coriander style, that for me is a lovely pairing. As someone who's lived in Mendoza a long time and seeks fish every once in a while.
I think it's good, and that's exactly, Altamira. It's good that we talk about Altamira, because the other wine I have here, the Aini, comes from there, There are different regions within Altamira, but let's say there's a traditional area that has a lot of history of farming. And this wine, which is Aini, which is a single vineyard, comes from a new place in Altamira. So it was planted in virgin territory, which is very important for us following organic practices. But the part of Altamira that has a lot of farming history and freshness. So those wines with fish. Issues with my connection. I don't know if you can hear me well.
Yeah, you.
So just to take, sorry.
Yeah, carry on. You broke up a little bit, but yes, we can understand. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'm in the countryside, so internet is not very stable. Just few words about Aini. As I said, this vineyard is very special for us. This was the first wine we decided to bottle with the vineyard name because we fall in love with Altamira and its texture. So this is a full body wine. Altamira delivers full body wines. You know, Uco Valley is higher in altitude, rocky soils with limestone. So naturally we get much fresher wines. As Amanda described, it always shows a lovely herbaceous, like herbal character. It's not herbaceous, it's herbal notes mixed with fruit. And I think it's a great expression in the mouthfeel because it's very subtle tannins, very refined, but very intense at the same time. So it's for me is the great combination of power and elegance, Altamira. Then we have other places where we have more fleshy wines, but Altamira is always about the beauty of elegance. And I think, of course, it's a great pairing for the lovely steak that T-bone that Fernando is cooking. Looks fantastic.
Fernando, do you want to show us what?
Yes. Yes. So basically, I will just cut the steak now. So like I said before, the T-bone, we have two different cuts. The small one, it's the loin, filet mignon, and the other one is the sirloin. So let's take out of the bone. Okay, so let's try it, no?
I'll give you some wine, so Fernando.
Yeah, but it's 10:30 in the morning. So.
Oh,
it looks fantastic.
Fantastic. I think all of us are just drooling out here. Unfortunately, through Zoom, you can't really send samples of wine and this lovely grilled beef. But how long, basically, Fernando, do you aim to grill it for? When you say medium
rare? Steak?
Yeah, in terms of medium.
I mean, it was, let's say, like 15, 20 minutes maximum. Depends of the steaks. I mean, this one, it was like a small steak like this. So it's like 15, 20 minutes maximum. But if you do the whole piece, let's say that you do, I don't know, a ribeye, a whole ribeye, it's like, I don't know, an hour or an hour and 15 minutes. But it depends of the cut.
Right, okay.
And T-bone or ribeye or sirloin, it's always like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. And Gabriel, so you have another wine as well. So which one would you ideally pair with what part of the beef? Are there special grilling techniques or any sauces that you apply for each wine in terms of pairing?
I think, I mean, both wines, as I said, Malbec generally pairs well with meat. I think the Aini, the second wine I tasted, is the one that will go better with this. But as we said, pairing is maybe, I might drink a couple of glasses while cooking, a couple of glasses of the Nuna, the lighter one, while we cook it, and then for enjoying the T-bone, I will drink the Aini. That's the thing I will do. I'm sorry, I think I am having connection problems because I see I see that everything freezes for a while. So I hope you're
yes,
hearing me.
We can hear you. Sophie has just said Aini is at 24.49 pounds in Fortnum. It's available to buy. So I don't know about the first one. Do you know?
Sophie should know. Please, Sophie, help.
Sophie's looking, finding out. Also, Fernando, you have some big plans coming to set up in London. Could you please enlighten us with your...
Yes, of course. Cross fingers. We will open a restaurant in London next year. We're supposed to open this year. And so we're supposed to open the restaurant. I mean, we're supposed to start the construction January 21 and to open the restaurant maybe May, let's say. So the idea is to open the restaurant that we have here in Buenos Aires, that it's called Sucre. And Sucre is a restaurant that we opened 20 years ago. And they have an open kitchen and open fire and wood rotisserie. So basically we will do the same concept of Sucre, and it will be Sucre actually. So location, it's great, it's amazing. It's on Great Marlborough Street. So 20 meters from Carnaby Street. So it's a very good location.
Wish you good luck, and hopefully things are going to look up better. We're all praying for things to become better for the world. Christine, you thoroughly enjoyed Fernando's cooking. Do you have any special comment on Malbecs that you've tasted, or any recipes of?
I find that Malbec does go so well with meat, and I've been admiring that grill. In fact, I've just drawn a little diagram of what I need, but I don't really have space for that in my UK garden. But such wonderful meat in Argentina, and the Malbec goes so well. And I like the fact that the two wines that have been shown to us, clearly different styles, different intensities of flavor. And with the comment about the fish, pairing with fish, clearly a lighter style is much better, but the Aini, clearly, which I don't think I've tasted, is would clearly be very, very good with Malbec. Sorry, with the steak.
Brilliant. And Gabriel, could you also throw some light on elevation and fruit concentration, the relationship with Malbec's fruit and elevation, and how does it come to show in your wines?
Okay. Generally, it's being said for I mean, since many years that there are studies that shown that elevation affects the concentration of phenols in grapes. This is because of sunlight exposure. So the higher you go, the higher the intensity you should expect. But this also has a lot to do with the soil structure. So from my perspective or my experience, wine taste has, I mean, it's very linked to soil composition and climate I mean, it's bigger influenced by that than maybe by the altitude. The altitude gives different climate conditions. For example, higher places are cooler, or if you go south, example, when you go to Uco Valley, it's cooler as well. That's in Argentina, of course, in the south hemisphere in general. So the altitude of these different wines, Nuna is located at about 960 meters, about sea level. But as I said, it has deep soils, which are filthy loam. So that's a lot of fertility. And this is why the wine structure is medium body. It's not big. And it's more focused on fruit. So these soils with a template weather deliver more fruit and medium body. And that's why it doesn't need any aging in oak, because it doesn't have a big structure to age. And then Altamira is at 1,100 meters about sea level. It's like 100 kilometers down south and going west. Okay, when we go to Altamira, we go down southwest. So it's about 100 kilometers southern than Agrelo. So this is cooler. These are alluvial soils, which are plenty of rocks with calcium carbonate, and the top soil is sandy loam. So soil composition is very different, and weather conditions are cooler. So these deliver bigger texture, and this is the tannin intensity I was describing. And this is also why the herbal character mixed with fruit. So this is, Altamira shows not that obvious fruit. It says it shows more ripe type of fruit with herbal character. But then the important thing is the tannic, the texture. These wines need aging. So Aini, for example, ages for at least 12 months in a foudre, because also we have learned that Aini is so, I mean, it's very intense, but it's so subtle that it doesn't go well with small barriques because it over ages. So this is the big difference, and it's also given by the altitude. But I think that the bigger influence on wine taste is given by the soil. Of course, to express the soil, you need, from my point of view, organic and biodynamic practices, and that's very important because in other ways of producing, you are not showing the soil; you are showing fertilizers or standard things. So that's I would say altitude has an influence, but soil and climate, I think, have bigger influence in wine taste.
Thank you. That's very interesting to know the interplay of altitude, climate, and soils in Malbec's expression. Fernando, are there different recipes of beef that you can just talk us through quickly that would kind of come at the top of your head to match with different levels of body and fruit style of Malbec?
I think ribeye, it's a great cut for the combined with Malbec, and also short ribs, but it's a lot of fatty and body, and probably, I mean, the T-bone, it's a medium fatty cut, but a ribeye or short rib, they have much more intense flavor.
Great, thank you. So Sophie has
there's one question. I know that apparently, Gabrielle, you are producing natural wines. Is there something that you can tell the guests today about the natural wines that you're producing?
Okay. First thing is I don't like calling them natural because there's a big discussion about all wine being natural, of course, because it's just fermented grapes. I would say I'm a big fan of producing wine with only grapes. And we started becoming fans of that when we turned from conventional to organic and biodynamic. We discovered that grapes, I mean, this is fun to say, but grapes have all the things you do to make great wine. And we have been pulling out all the enzymes, yeast, acidification. I mean, all the interventions that we are taught to make in winemaking, and the results have been incredible. So the biggest challenge for us was trialing not using sulfur. And I think we are still experimenting, but we have bottled already 3 wines for 3 years now, and they are going quite well. So I think to make wine without anything than grapes and without sulfur, which is what I call natural wine. I don't know how to say this, but sometimes natural wine has to do with the avoid of sulfur use, but it doesn't matter the grape quality. So that's why I don't like the expression natural wine, because you can bring up any grape, which is, for example, not organic or not nice grape, and you can use yeast and other preservants than sulfur and still call it natural wine. I think the wine should be the pure expression of a place. So my intention, or our intention at Chakana, is to perform that, to produce wine with only using grapes, only one ingredient. And of course, we want to produce stable wines and wines that taste fine. So that's what I have to say. I think it's a lifetime trial. So I don't think we end up with a formula, and I will hate to end up with a formula, like this is how you make natural wine, because that will be very boring, and I think life doesn't work like that. But we enjoy very much the process of learning and experiencing, and I think we are every time closer to get what we are looking for, but we'll never get there. So I hope it doesn't disappoint you.
Well, Sophie has mentioned in the chat all the places to access all the 3 wines, including the natural wine. So please have a look. And if you want to email her, she's on sophie@sophiejump.com, and she can answer your questions. Manuel is the managing director for Chakana Wines. Manuel, if you can, throw us a light on the future strategy, how COVID is going to influence export. Is it going to be more localized, or are you planning to change your strategy? How are you coping with what's going to happen or not going to happen next year?
Yeah, thank you, Sami. No, it's a pleasure for us to be invited to this Zoom session. Currently, Chakana, we are really increasing or expanding our distribution. Chakana is now being sold in more than 25 different countries, and all the situation of the COVID, I think that increased the consciousness of the careness, and being today Chakana the reference in Argentina of organic and biodynamic wines, put us in a spotlight, saying, okay, we are receiving different requests from different importers and distributors, saying, okay, it is the time to include a biodynamic or an organic wine in our portfolio. So that is giving us a chance, an opportunity to show what is organic and biodynamic from Argentina.
Fantastic. And anybody has any other questions? I think we're all kind of drooling out here, just getting the smell of the steak. But yeah, if you have any questions on availability, please do contact Sophie at sophiejump.com. Am I right? Okay, excellent. Well, this has been an amazing session, and it's been lovely to see you all and to have your participation. Any other questions, please do send through to Andrea, or any particular in terms of market availability, please do direct them to Sophie. Thank you so much for all of your time, and have a good day and have a good weekend. And I'm sure this weekend will be beef on the menu. Take care.
Thank you
very much. Cheers.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Fernando. Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Fernando.
everyone.
Thank you, Manuel. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Gabriel.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Great.
Fernando.